Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna give it 30 seconds, as I don't know if the stream. I feel like the stream starts a little bit after it says it's live. Yeah, let's go about there. So, hello, hello. So last stream, which I've now unlisted because I didn't really like my attitude while I was recording it, frankly. So that video was essentially me attempting to deliver some information and doing it poorly. I'm gonna be honest. I've been trying. Oh, my phone just went off. Doesn't matter. So I'm gonna be honest. I've been watching some other YouTubers, especially their earlier videos, and people just seem to be able to speak nicely. I can't seem to do that, and it's a skill that I really appreciate, and I think I need to learn to get better at, but I don't know how. So let me just go over what I'm talking about. So I kind of came to the conclusion that this whole thing that I want to do with filming myself creating the music and then creating the music, so filming myself talking about the processes of how to create the music. So in the last video, I was talking about how to take a riff and then blow that up into a full kind of verse or a chorus, and then blow that up into a full song. And then hopefully in the next video, it will be taking that and then blowing that up into a fully produced track. So, you know, using DAWs. So here's the thing. I was, like I said, I was watching. Who was I watching? So, I was watching Pondering Politics. So there's a couple of people I was watching. Healthy Gamer GG and Pondering Politics, and they do this style of video. So they were doing the style of video that I was attempting to do, but I couldn't quite do. You know, they are much more natural speaking, much more precise in the way that they're talking. Yeah, sorry. That's my weather for tomorrow. Good. So they were much more precise in the way that they're talking. But my way of talking, I was really trying to deliver a specific thing that I wanted to say, and I couldn't really do it. And I kept doing take after take after take. And I think I've realized that I can't do it that way, because right now I'm talking fairly normally. So what is it about what I'm doing right now that is different to what I was doing before? I guess the big thing, and I'm only thinking of this now because I'm self-aware of myself doing it right now. Oh, sorry, I just realized I've got this on the wrong screen. Let me make sure there's nothing else on the other screen. Yeah, just battled on that. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm trying to work out how do I make myself sound like Healthy Gamer GG or like Pondering Politics, and I'll go over what that's like in a bit. The original plan was to do videos in the style of someone called Adam Ragusia. He does his videos where it's highly edited and pictured in a particular way. Now, it might be because of his age, or it might be because he's had more experience in media than I have. You know, he has his experience in radio before he approached doing these styles of videos. So maybe that's my flaw. And that's why I thought, okay, so maybe I should do a live stream and then cut up that live stream into a listenable segment. But the thing is, when I watch people like Pondering Politics or people like Healthy Gamer GG, there isn't like a lot of cuts. They just deliver the message as they want to deliver it. And in that sense, maybe I should learn to take some of the pressure off myself and instead approach it in a conversational style like I'm doing to you right now. Maybe instead of trying to do the message exactly in the order that I want to be doing it in, I just do 4 bullet points. I have some notes there as I go, but I just vaguely approach those notes and aim to just deliver the message that I think I want to get delivered, and whatever isn't included, it just isn't included, and whatever is included is included. I don't know how else to put it other than that. So whatever I say is put into the video, and then I make sure that that's cut up in a way that removes all the ums and ahs, which is another thing. They don't do a lot of ums and ahs. Now, I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to be more slow in the way that I talk. Literally right there, I'm purposefully trying to just stop in between sentences and just say the things that I'm going to say. Now, it's still going to be an issue, but we'll see how we go as we go. So that's the approach that I think I need to take going forward. Now, that being said, I have made the video now. I don't know if it's worth making the video again for the 3rd time. I did a video previously before. So I did this before this stream. I did a video that I've now unlisted, and then before that one, I did another video that isn't unlisted. That's like a public video. I did the I can't believe I just said I did the and then said afterwards. I was about to do it again, but we're not going to do it. So I'm not going to be too punishing on myself if I do it again now. So I've done those 2 videos previously, 2 attempts of trying to make it work. I think the first attempt was a relief because I didn't know what I was doing. I just went for it and followed the script as much as I could, and I did multiple attempts of the script. Second time round, I just, at first, I think for the first 10 minutes, I tried to do it as different takes, and then I said I was just going to go and push forward, but I didn't stick with it. That's the problem. I didn't stick with it. I spent too long putting too much pressure on myself. So I'm not going to do it this time round. This time round is going to be a bit of a introspection for me and just focusing on learning the things that I need to learn. So it's going to be a very short stream. But the aim is I just want to get an understanding of what I'm doing and what I should do going forward. If I should start editing the video that I made, or if I should just redo the video again and try and do it all in one take like these people are. We'll see. I think if we can just get an idea of how these people take notes and really try and focus on not worrying about this exact script, just worry about having a conversational style like I'm doing right now, then I'll be fine, because I'm talking pretty good right now, I think. I don't think I'm saying ums and ahs a whole lot. I'm just delivering the message that I want to deliver as it's generating in my head. And in that sense, I'm saying this without a script. So maybe it's better to just go in without a script and just make sure that I understand what I'm trying to say as I'm saying it to you. So yeah, just taking a quick look. So as you can see, I was taking a look at some of the older YouTube videos from Healthy Gamer. Let's see, he's got these long. So these are his first videos. Now, whether or not I was hoping to look back on these videos and be like, oh, okay, well, he's been in the same position that I have, but he hasn't. Now, he probably, I think he's 40 something. So I think at this point he's about 35, right? Around about that age. So in that sense, you know, he's over 10 years older than me. And he's a professional in communication, right? His qualifications is in psychiatry, I think. Something around that area of expertise. I'm not exactly sure of the exacts. I think he specializes in addiction, especially video game addiction, but I think he's specialized in other things as well. But yeah, let's just look at this real quick. Just look at the way he speaks.
Now we get to actually my favorite part of the lecture series, which is relationships. I think relationships...
Okay, so he said an there. Just before that, he took a long pause. He said, my favorite part, which is relationships. He took a long pause without saying an. So that's something to take note of.
My favorite part of the lecture series, which is relationships. I think relationships are absolutely fascinating, and I think the relationships that we form online and how gamers connect to other people through the internet is just an absolutely fascinating topic. So just to give you guys a little bit of information, I started playing StarCraft with this guy when I was 15 years old, and then like over the next 10 years of our life, we were like gaming together. Never met the dude. And then when I ended up getting married, I actually invited him to my wedding, which all of my like my bosses and professors and stuff, when I tell them that, they're stunned. But I think you guys will understand what I mean, because like the relationships that we form through online gaming can actually be really authentic. And I'd really like to start there, talking a little bit about the authenticity of online friendship. So one of the things that's really interesting about when you meet someone online is that the internet really blinds people to all the kinds of things that we tend to judge people for. So when you talk to someone on the internet, you don't know if they're black or they're white or they're Indian or Hispanic or Asian or any of that. Well, maybe you do depending on their name or their voice or their accent. But generally speaking, the internet is blind. You don't know if that person is rich or they're poor. You don't know if they're attractive or unattractive. You really don't know anything about them. And if you think about the real world is incredibly judgmental.
Okay. There was a couple of short moments where he said but outside of that, it's not that filled with ums or ahs at all. I think another big thing is that he isn't a very fast speaker.
Any of that. Well, maybe you do depending on their name or their voice or their accent.
So he does it there.
But generally speaking, the internet is blind. You don't know if that person is rich or they're poor. You don't know if they're attractive or unattractive. You really don't know anything about them.
So you spent a bit of time even thinking there, like you don't know if they're attractive or unattractive. I was even thinking then for a second. I was trying to remember what he was saying.
And walk into a room and, you know, I have this fleece which has like the Harvard logo on it. I get treated differently. People give me respect that I don't actually deserve just because of the institution that I'm affiliated with. That says nothing about me. I mean, like, even so, for example, my sister-in-law, I gave her one of these fleeces for like just to wear because I had an extra one. And so she walks around and she kind of, you know, wears this fleece and people think she's affiliated with Harvard Medical School, which she's not. But so people just judge other people based on all kinds of kind of shallow criteria, right? If you're a pretty girl or a good-looking guy, you're more likely to get better service at a restaurant. And so the real world can actually be incredibly racist and shallow and unfair, whereas when you meet someone online, they're going to go tell you to go fuck yourself because of who you are, not because of the color of your skin, right? They tell you that they want to fuck your mom because of who you are, and it's not blinded by race or ethnicity or gender or anything like that. Actually, gender's an interesting exception because a lot of times gender does create a lot of really bizarre.
I think another thing is that he's really good at sticking to the point. Right now he's diverting from the point to just give a quick note on gender, but I think he's going to return back in a nice way, and I just want to be aware of that.
And sometimes toxic mechanics online, so I'll steer a little bit clear of that. So the interesting thing about relationships over the internet is people sort of see you for who you are.
But then he returns back to the subject that we're talking about. So I think this is a skill in and upon itself, obviously, but it bothers me. It bothers me that they're so good at doing this communication style, and I want to get better at this communication style. I feel like I didn't have the quality of the good communication style I felt always, but all I'm saying is I got an A star in my speaking and listening, so I was meant to be pretty good. No, seriously though, let's go to Pondering Politics real quick, because this is a similar vibe. Okay, we've got two videos here. We've got this 5-minute one. Let's listen to this. This is 2 years ago. Now, he does say here, after 5 hellish weeks in exile, Rum 1N8. Actually, is that? Okay, it used to be called Rum 1N8. Interesting. That's just interesting on itself. Greets 2022 with new equipment, new content, and an appropriately douchey introduction. So it says channel update here as well. So these are new videos for this channel. This seems like an update kind of thing, but it implies that he had videos before this where he sounded different. So in that sense, I really don't want to start relying on heavy editing, because if I start relying on heavy editing, then I'm going to end up relying on the heavy editing for my content. Sorry, I literally just said I don't want to rely on heavy editing because I don't want to rely on the heavy editing. I don't want to rely on the heavy editing because I want to ensure that I have a good communication style regardless of cuts or anything like that. So I want to make sure that I can communicate my ideas for more than 30 seconds without having to cut the video every 2 or 3 seconds, right? I want to make sure that I can speak at least a paragraph of sentences before a cut. I think that makes sense. Okay, just as a Jesus Christ, just as a pre-warning, I haven't watched this particular video.
Hey everybody, Ruminate here. Hope this video finds you well. Welcome to 2022. Thank God we are getting ever closer away from 2020. I could not be more excited. And I thought I'd come back and do a state of the channel, kind of recap for you all and tell you about what's going on with this channel moving forward. So I took about 5 weeks off, not only for the holidays, but also because at my day job, as the year advances, it becomes considerably more stressful and time demanding. So Q4 tends to be the lowest level of stress for me at my day job, and then Q2 gets considerably worse, and Q3 gets considerably worse still, and then it reaches its like apocalyptic zenith at Q4. So between the holidays and work stress and trying to have some sort of social life, there's a hell of a lot going on. So I decided to just kind of unplug for a little bit, focus on getting all those stresses under control, and I committed to jump.
So he does say a couple of ums and ahs.
There's a hell of a lot going on. So I decided to just kind of unplug for a little bit, focus on getting all those stresses under control, and I committed to jumping back into the channel Q1 2022. Here we are. I'm excited to be back. I thought a lot about the channel. I missed it quite a bit, quite frankly, in what little time or downtime I did have this last month. I spent a lot of time daydreaming and fantasizing about being here in front of the camera, talking about pop culture and politics. It was a lot of fun last year, and I'm looking forward to even more fun this year moving forward. I reinvested emotionally and psychologically and indeed financially in myself and this channel. I even upgraded the camera. We're no longer using a webcam. A friend of mine gifted me this nice Ruminate plaque here. And I've thought about new additional content and new series.
Ruminate.
This year that we're
Interesting.
For example, a new series of videos called TLDR, and in case my 85-year-old grandmother's watching, that's internet slang for too long, didn't read. As you all know, I love to run my mouth, and I can talk about things for 45 minutes, or indeed 3 hours and 45 minutes, and many of you don't have the time or attention span or inclination to sit through all that. So I want to talk about stories in every medium, books, movies, TV shows, video games, graphic novels, whatever, but condense all my thoughts to between like 10 and 20 minutes, thus TLDR. And we're going to be producing new regular videos with that, again, from stories from every medium, good, bad, or otherwise. They made an impression on me, good or bad. I want to talk about.
Interesting. Okay, so he's talking about politics here.
Private, in public, and at rallies, he has hinted that he intends to do so. And as both the Democratic House of Representatives and, more dangerously for Trump, the Department of Justice continue to investigate January 6th and the events surrounding it, reports have suggested that Trump is more motivated to run for the presidency in 2024 in order to avoid the consequences. Those consequences potentially including criminal charges and prosecution for Trump and his allies. These reports suggest that Trump is, once again, intending to exploit the office of the presidency, which is the office in this country most protected from civil and criminal liability. However, that installation extends...
So he actually does a lot more cuts than I thought. I'm going to watch one of his more recent videos then. When's his most popular video? That's in the last 12 days. Let's watch this video real quick and see if he does many cuts, because I don't think he does many cuts here.
President Trump started it, and then she upped it. She upped it, and the camo hats and the tax on tips, and now crypto.
So A, that's not true.
Okay.
B, child poverty was cut in half when the Biden-Harris administration implemented the child tax credit and the Republicans got rid of it. If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why does he have a +7 favorability and JD Vance and Trump both have a -13? He doesn't even make any sense when he talks about it. Listen to this quote talking about his new crypto business, which I'm sure will go bankrupt. But
did he take care of his battalion? I mean, already.
Go ahead.
He stretches. He's got a problem with the truth.
People do not think that Tim Walz is a bad guy, no matter how many times.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think.
Liberal Fox News commentator Jessica Tarlov yet again broke the hearts of her 4 MAGA co-hosts with a series of brutal fact checks about the 2024 election, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz.
He looks a lot more professional here.
A heated exchange with co-host Jeanine Pirro, who was very triggered by these facts. But before we unpack...
Why does he look a lot more professional here? I guess it's because he's behind a pseudo bookshelf, which it isn't even a bookshelf, is it? It's fake, isn't it? It's all fake books. I don't think they're real books, but it doesn't matter.
All that. If you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have a couple of clips to look at in this video. As you know, Jessica Tarlov has the hardest job in legacy media. She is the one voice of sanity on The Five, which is the highest rated Fox News show. She's going into enemy territory. She's up against a hostile audience. She's outnumbered 4-1. And despite this, she pretty much always wins because the facts are on her side, and she's very, very good at delivering them. So this episode was really no exception, but it was fun to see Jeanine Pirro, one of her MAGA co-hosts, get very triggered by the vice president's, record, I suppose, and Governor Tim Walz's charisma. So let's play this clip and watch the heated back and forth and enjoy it together.
All right, Jessica, why does Kamala always copy Donald Trump?
So I guess he can I guess he can cut it here. Does he just
child poverty in half? Every Republican voted against it. Then when the time came to renew the provision, every Republican in the United States Senate and one Democrat, conservative Democrat Joe Manchin, who will no longer be in the Senate because he's not seeking re-election, did not vote in favor of the enhanced child tax credit. So again, it's by far a bigger staple of the Biden-Harris administration's success, and Donald Trump's Republicans voted against it because they would rather have child poverty doubled effectively than give President Biden and Vice President Harris a political win. So Jessica Tarlov is right to hit them with this brutal fact check.
If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think,
quite frankly, don't deserve. They constantly interrupt and heckle, ask bad faith questions. They get hostile with her. I'm glad she's actually asserting herself and saying, you know what, the facts are on my side. You all are a bunch of hypocrites. Your candidates, a bunch of, or candidates rather, are a bunch of hypocrites. They flip-flop. That's the other thing too. Of course, the 4 of the 5 like to claim that Vice President Harris is a flip-flop, whether or not he would support a constitutional amendment in Florida to guarantee abortion.
Okay. I don't want to keep watching this person's video. I just... Let's go back to Dr. K real quick one more time. I'll say, is there any positive subjects? Let's do the ADHD
My
one.
brain does not have entirely and unequivocally my fault. Okay, so this is where, like,
In fact, I know that this is live because he does this, has this live thing
I
over
don't
here.
like to blame
Does he cut here?
a career change. Use the link in the description below to get 30%
Oh.
off. So this is a review paper that's here's you. Have a set of very unique personal problems, and they don't like to blame their ADHD. Here's you as a kid.
Okay, so he does a cut there. I assume he does a cut here as well.
Try harder. So I think this.
So he does a cut here as well. So he has a period of between 3 to 6, 7 minutes. Yeah, 3.5 to 7 minutes where he doesn't cut. I assume this is always a cut here. So from about 7 to 10 minutes, 10 to 11. So he has like a good 3 minutes of talking without a cut. So in that sense, I think we need to try harder I think I want to try again one more time in recording the video. I do have the original video that I had from last time, so I could cut it up, but I feel like the cut up is going to be brutal, and I don't think it's going to be fun to edit, and I feel like I can just make up for it by speaking better and speaking more naturally, which I think is what people want anyway. Or at least, actually, I say what people want. What do I want? I want to have a clean video that doesn't have any cuts or many cuts. I hate having multiple cuts because that, to me, shows a sign of someone who isn't confident in what they're saying and they're trying to make their video sound precisely exactly how they want to sound it. But I'd rather have a solid foundation of a video created, right? I'd rather have a solid stream where I talk from start to finish about the subject. I don't even start off by going, right, I guess we're gonna get on with talking about this because it's for a video. Instead, the stream that is the subject, and we just do it, and we just do the subject on a stream, and then we cut up that stream and we make it a video. That's how we do it. I think that is the approach. That's pretty much what I watch all the time anyway from other streamers. So I don't know why I'm giving myself any different approach. I probably wanted to give myself a different approach because my inspiration originally was going to be the Adam Ragusea stuff, which is cut up like that. But he doesn't record live. He records it normally and then cuts it up from that point. So he doesn't have to worry. He has probably a really strict script. That's a weird sentence to say. A really strict script, and then they work from it from there. But I don't have a I don't have a script of a traditional kind. I have bullet points, and I'm talking about those bullet points. And with that is going to come a bit more going to say sloppiness, but I don't know if I want to use that word. A bit more imprecision. And that's okay. I think that's what is worth doing. If I say and a bunch of times, I don't want it, but maybe we need to take that as a consequence for the way that we want the videos to be in the future. If we can work on snipping off all of these and ahs and work on actually being a better speaker, then not only is that going to be better for future videos, but it's going to be better for everything else. So yeah, I think that's the approach going forward. No more worrying about the Adam Ragusea style. We're going to do it the healthy gamer style. And with that, I think I don't really have much more to say. I'm going to head off now. And I think the video is going to now get recorded probably on Thursday. And that's because right now, so tomorrow I'm just going to be too busy. And well, Thursday might be difficult as well. So I'm going to have a bit of a journey. We'll see. It's probably going to be around Thursday or Friday. But I ideally want to do it on Thursday because I want to start editing it on Sunday. So we've given 2 attempts, and I like the progress that we're making. That's the important thing. We're making progress towards what we want to do. As soon as we make progress on this, we can move on to doing the next video, which will be editing, and that is going to be great. You know, I think that's going to be a really fun experience to do. And I don't know the best approach of me making that video, but it's probably going to involve... it's either going to involve me streaming myself doing the actual process of editing the video on the stream. Yeah, streaming the process of making the music production on stream, or I'm going to have to do it off stream and then maybe recreate the processes that I'm doing after the fact. The only issue is that when it comes to producing, it's very much I go and I sit down and I do a bunch of recording, and it's going to be difficult to know if you guys are hearing it or not, because when it comes to digital workstations, they don't output the audio in a traditional way. So the way you have to output the audio is by telling Ableton, like giving it a plugin called I think it's called Restream, and streaming it directly into OBS. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's impossible to do. It's just more, do I want to spend the time setting up the stream and then setting up the audio recording process when it's going to be messy? You know, it's going to be, if I record my voice, it's going to appear twice in your recording, for example. So it's not going to be very enjoyable in that sense. We'll see. It might be that this first video, I don't record myself doing all the different processes, but once I've finished all the processes, I take note of them, I take note of the processes, and then I put them into the video. But that's for the next video. For right now, let's just focus on getting this first video done. So with that, yeah, I'm going to head off, and yeah, I'll speak soon. I'm happy that I have a good understanding of what I want to do now. Cool. Speak soon.